winners at the end, they all pose around their car in the winner's circle, and then they have this abundance of fake dollars, and you're throwing it at them, and all the photographers and videographers are out there, they're shooting it, and the money's coming down, and I got to snag one of those because, you know, they gave me a bottle of champagne and these hundreds, and so I took a video, and I'm like, yeah, this is all the money we made selling T-shirts at this event. We didn't make that amount of money.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's a Talk About It podcast. I'm Lauren Fulmer.
I'm Victor Dantes.
And we have another fun episode today, sitting down with Josh Dixon. Josh, how are you, man?
What's up, brothers?
Appreciate
How you guys
you.
doing?
Thank you for coming, man.
Man, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
This whole setup is so killer. I can't believe it.
No,
Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Thank you.
very impressed with
It was
everything
all
going on.
my idea.
You did all this?
No. I showed up one day and it was already just done. But
He helped for sure. But
Yeah,
But how's everything going, man? You've been good?
Oh man, been super busy. Actually, this is like a day off for me to come here and do this podcast. So
Sweet.
It's been nice. Been busy with the drag racing world. Freelance graphic design. I was gonna say artwork. And
Yeah. Well, why don't you start just kind of tell us about yourself? Who's Josh Dixon? What
Who am
you
I?
got?
Man, people sometimes call me the T-shirt guy. I mean, that's kind of like what got me into the whole entire business to begin with, was screen printing. A long time ago, I had to get into a career that made money. I was going to Carl Sandburg, and I was working at McGillicuddy's. You remember McGillicuddy's? So I was working there, and I found out I had a kid on the way. So I had to do something for more income, and I was kind of like dabbling in graphic design at that point. And I remember putting my portfolio together for Will Laser, and you know, I do not have a college education in graphic design. I was actually going to school for psychology, and I was like, man, I got to do something for some quick cash to support my kid on the way. And I remember going to Walgreens. You know how they have the photo service deal?
Yeah.
Got all my stuff printed on 8.5 by 11s. Called up Will. Was like, hey man, can we do an interview? Checked out my stuff, and that was literally the thing that gave me the confidence and the wings to do what I do today. And he looked at my artwork and he's like, you know, you don't need a stinking education when you have these type of skills. So I was like, man, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's do this. So
Right.
it's been a dream ever since.
What type of graphics did you do for Will Azer?
It was mainly T-shirt design.
Yeah, T-shirt
And
design.
then of course he has Azer Clinic.
Yep.
So that's what kind of got me into the marketing side of things, because he invited me to join up with the marketing team over at Azer.
Nice.
So and you know, it goes hand in hand. I mean, you most definitely know, having the media group that you have. You know, if you can provide the creatives and the way to market those creatives, I mean,
It's a one-stop shop.
it's a one-stop shop.
Yep.
Yep.
So have you always been into art though? Because I know you do. I've seen like some
Paintings
hand-drawn
and stuff. That's my
paintings.
hobby. I'll never make money at it. I love to do it, but here locally, there's a couple collaborations I've done with Dusty Scott on some murals. There's some that I've painted by myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would do like the graphic design for him, and then he would go and paint these large scale
That's crazy.
murals.
Like Antonita.
Yeah,
right?
there's one. Yeah, he painted the great big one. I designed it. He painted it, and then the one inside, it's like Elvie's face, and she's like,
Oh
dude,
yeah.
I designed and painted that one myself.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that one became on the back of the T-shirt.
Yeah,
Which-
and that's because at that time I was running Tiki Tees,
Okay.
which I don't do that anymore. That was like my little side hustle screen printing deal I was doing out of my basement.
Right.
There is
Yeah.
one at Cherry Street on the
I
safari
also
thing.
I designed that one
yeah.
as well.
That-
He painted
That
it.
one is crazy. Every time I go there, I was like, damn, this looks good, man.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Talented
Thank you so
dude,
much.
man.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
stop.
No, but it is. I've seen just some like freehand stuff you're doodling with, and you
Yeah.
shared on your social media one way or another. I saw.
You
Like,
gotta stay sharp. Like
Yeah.
one thing I will never lose, and that's the ability to illustrate and draw. I think that's
How did that start? Did you learn from
look,
someone?
No, well, okay. I was like 2 years old and I picked up crayons and I was like drawing stuff or trying to draw what Bob Ross was doing. You know, it was like you had your cartoons and then all of a sudden Bob Ross was on right after that. So it was like cartoons. Now I'm going to draw, you know, and then I started getting better at that. Some of my teachers and stuff recognized that I could do it. And when you hear that encouragement from everybody, like, oh, you can draw, it makes you want to draw even more. And that's just something I've kind of kept with me my whole life. Yeah. My uncle Roy Dixon, he's the monument artist out of Burlington, Iowa. Oh, sure. And so when I was around 12, 13 years old, he took an interest in wanting to help me with that. And he was like, I felt like he was trying to get me under his wing to take over the business someday. And it's hard for me to work with dead people. Like it's kind of sad to me, you know. Crazy. So I didn't want to get into the monument thing, but he taught me more of like the business side of how you can sell your artwork.
Okay.
We had an artist from Burlington on the show.
Yeah, David Garrison.
Yeah,
oh man,
that's a really good one. I'm sure your uncle would know who that is. I'm sure, especially being from the area.
You know what type of art was like?
He does portraits. He does oil and charcoal.
Yeah, you'll have to watch the episode.
I will. I'm gonna go check it out.
It was a good one. Really talented dude.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of awards in France. So yeah, he's good for sure.
Did you say in France?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So how far, I mean, you're working with this Racers Club, which is like when I saw that a few weeks or months back, that's why I reached out. I'm like, Josh, what are you into now, man? Come talk about it.
It's crazy how people start like taking interest in you and you flash around a bunch of fake money. Like I had like this, so many people stop me on the street and they're like, man, you got all this money and stuff. I'm like, dude, that was maybe $15 worth of fake hundreds.
Wait, what did you have?
It was just like these stacks of money because, I worked the race at Bradenton Motorsports Park in Florida through Drag Illustrated, which that's who I work for is Drag Illustrated, and I'm the brand manager of Racers Club, which is pretty much the clothing line, what we developed it at DI, Drag Illustrated. And I got the chance to work these races, which I've never done before. I've been in the drag racing industry for 14 years, but I've never got like the hands-on, seeing it in person, actually walking up and down the track. Like that's crazy. But no, the winners at the end, they all pose around their car in the winner's circle, and then they have this abundance of fake dollars and you're throwing it at them and all the photographers and videographers are out there, they're shooting it and the money's coming down and I got to snag one of those because they gave me a bottle of champagne and these hundreds, and so I took a video and I'm like, yeah, this is all the money we made selling t-shirts at this event. We didn't make that amount of money. We did good, but it wasn't like that. Well, dude, the funny story is I'm throwing out the cash. They also give me a bottle of champagne, which I've never done the whole, shake it and splash it all over the place deal. Well, I didn't do it right. I couldn't get the cork off, and I ended up like splashing this random guy like all over his back. There's a video of it. It's terrible. I didn't know what I was doing. But
I can't say I've ever done that.
Yeah, I know. They make it look so easy.
But never worked.
No, I worked at a wine bar in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I was at a table. And, you undo the wire top, and it's no more as soon as I got that off. I went, boom!
No!
And fired across the restaurant. And now, none of it sprayed, but, like, that thing went, like, off the wall, hit the ceiling, and down on the table, And I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, that thing just, boom! They'll take off, man.
Yeah, there's some people that are good at it. Like, every time I try to do it, it doesn't work. Either it goes like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Or it does what you just said. Like when I'm not expecting, it just goes and nothing happens.
I'm always scared now because of that. Like I'll take that thing off and try to cover it again, and slowly twist it out.
It's almost like a weapon, You're like
when you're looking at
it's not working. Yeah, that's when it pops out.
And now he's blind.
Right. One eye down. So, but yeah. So you guys got this like clothing line, and now you're going to different events.
Yeah, we'll do like different events. Right now, race season is going on hardcore right now, and we should be going out to events right now, but what we're doing is we're developing new drops currently. So there's like an abundance of different styles of hats we want to come out with, tank tops, new hoodies. It's crazy, even in like the summertime, hoodies sell a lot better on e-commerce stores. We just kind of figured that out, and so we're kind of looking at ordering more hoodies than t-shirts, but t-shirts are great for the live event, you know. Someone's there like, oh, I'll just snag a t-shirt, but for online sales, it's kind of cool to have like a more specialty item.
And where's that? Where did someone get online sale? Where do they go?
Racersclub.net.
Gotcha. Yeah, they can just order stuff right there.
Yep.
So you basically design the graphic, and then you make the shirts and sell different types, different versions.
Yeah, like right now we have a company, Eat Sleep Race.
Okay.
And they're out of New Jersey, and they're like our distributors. So they handle all the production. Like I get to design it, but then they'll get it produced. Okay. They hold the product for us, and then they'll actually something comes through Shopify, they fulfill it.
Dude, that's huge.
So I know.
Yeah,
that's what everybody wants, right?
That's the harder part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do all the legwork.
I've been there doing the legwork, so I appreciate that part too. You know. Like, bagging it up, shipping it out. You know.
Yeah. So you're getting a chance. You're not a race guy.
No.
You haven't been diehard race growing up and all that stuff.
I will say, going to these races though, it did something to me. Like I love drag racing, but I think the part of the drag racing that I love the most is the people and networking and seeing the passion that these guys have when they go out to every event. And they're sitting there and they're tuning their cars in between runs and everything. Like they have, just like, let me try to explain it like the easiest way. Basically, you have your qualifying session, and then you have your semifinals, finals. Well, in between there, you have so many runs that you have to do to even qualify, to even get into the actual race. And every time that they're running their cars down the track, there's so much wear and tear on their vehicle that, one run down the track, they might be like taking off the tires and say, hey, we need fresh new tires or whatever. And you never know what component in your car can break, running that high horsepower, going that violent, crazy down the track. It's nuts.
It's like balls to the wall for what? Seconds.
Yeah, 6 second, 8 second. Have you actually seen what a drag tire looks like before it takes off? Have you touched one to see?
I've never touched one.
They're really stiff.
Yeah.
They're like as hard as this table, right? But when they're getting ready to take off, those things bind up.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like a rubber band, and then it just lets go. And
yeah.
So drag racing, is it this type of car here?
So mainly,
like this?
I like when I get too close to the microphone?
No, you're good. You're good.
So those are both considered drag racing cars. This would be considered a junior dragster.
Oh, okay.
And then this is a pro mod car. And there's so many different classes in drag racing, and I don't know,
Me neither. My father, though, my dad would want to watch, he was like, it's nationals.
Yeah.
We got to watch them, and he would watch me know all of them or the bulk of the racers. And
it's crazy that the fans that are out there, just people who love basketball or football, they could sit there and be like, oh, hey, that's so-and-so's quarterback. I mean, same with drag racing. They'll be like, oh, hey, they're running this class with this team, and they know every person's name and what they run. And
yeah, and that's a good analogy because it's no different. Like I could sit here and probably tell you the quarterback for every NFL team,
exactly,
and their backup, and some of their players. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't. It's just your interest, right?
Yeah. It's a niche.
Like this guy could probably name soccer players I've never
heard of. All of them.
Yeah. And it would mean nothing to me.
But football, I don't know the name of not even one.
Really?
Right.
Mahomes, I know that one.
What about the one that dates Taylor Swift?
I have no idea.
You don't know that one?
Except for we were watching the Super Bowl, and it was just like, how many times are they going to show that?
Yeah, it's Travis Kelce.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I've seen him, but I would never know his name. And I know the other one, the Gisele.
Tom Brady.
Gisele,
Gisele, the model, was married too. Yeah,
because she's Brazilian. Then that's. But no, I know Tom Brady because is he the best in history?
Supposedly that's like the most Super Bowl wins, and he'll say, yeah. I mean, it'd be hard to battle and say he's not. Mm-hmm. But
so you're from Brazil.
I'm from Brazil.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that's why I'm into soccer, and I know. For example, I try to like football, but the rules is still confusing to me. Baseball, I don't understand anything. Like for me, I try to understand baseball, but I don't.
A lot of us are like that.
Baseball to me is a great way to take a nap.
Yeah.
You know, you put on the
Do
ball
something.
game, and just lay on the couch. You'll be asleep.
Basketball, I love basketball. I think it's like a very nice sport to watch. You know,
it is.
So I have fun watching basketball.
And it's nonstop action.
Yes,
That's the best with
because it's like soccer, but football it stops all the time, and it's kind of. Like, I get bored watching. I know that can be, you know.
No, I understand. That's what soccer
but
would be.
yeah, I know. A lot of people say soccer is boring because sometimes it's 0-0, 1-0, you know, at the end of the game. But
it's like they try so hard just to get to 2 or 3 points.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
And it takes like 90 minutes. I don't get it.
I don't understand that. Yeah, it can be boring. Some games are boring in soccer, but it's more about, you know, the game keeps going. It only stops after 45 minutes and then it goes for another 45 minutes. But yeah, baseball it's a lot boring for me. Like,
the cool thing with races, and I don't know if you've ever been to, it reminds me like the Kentucky Derby I've been to, and I don't care for betting on horses or any of that, but when you get down close to the cage and the horses are running, I mean, you can feel literally the horsepower. I mean, you can feel them in the ground. And I've been to NASCAR events. I've been to NASCAR races. You can feel the horsepower in these vehicles. I mean, in your chest. And there's something to it.
Mention that. We got to go on the starting line. And, man, when those cars, they do this burnout. They'll throw some water down and they warm up their tires. So that will take your breath away. But then when they actually launch, I mean, the cars are like right next to you.
Yeah.
Everybody is standing, or not everybody, but you know, the people who got the VIP passes and everything. You're right in the middle, and these cars are just launching right next to you, and it is mean. People's hats blow off. You can see their shirts. Like,
that's crazy.
Nuts. Oh yeah.
I would enjoy something like that. I like race. Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's some things you just never really.
Is this similar to dirt racing?
No.
It's completely different.
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But it's cool because like the fan base is still there though.
Okay.
Like a lot of those guys, they like all types of niche racing like that.
Okay.
So a lot of
these are just straight straight line for.
Oh, straight line.
Just
oh,
and
okay.
they race for like I said, 7-8 seconds.
Yeah.
And the race is.
I get what you're talking about now.
Yeah, that's what he's been going to.
Oh, okay.
I got to drive one of the cars.
No way.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was like they have like these El Bandito is one of our sponsors, and they have these party cars. Where I don't know, I call them party cars because it's like they have like the limiters and everything, so they only go like 100 miles an hour. But I mean, it's still freaky to me.
Yeah.
But I got to race my soon-to-be wife, and she kicked my ass.
You can say ass.
You can say ass.
I can say anything.
My ass all over the place, but
Kicked your ass.
I let her win.
There you go.
She
had a faster car.
Yeah. They had hers like tuned up. Mine was just like,
Do you ever go kart racing? You get the lame one.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, this is the worst. Like
this
everyone
is as fast as I'm gonna go.
So doesn't this type of race you can use any type of car against?
There's a lot of rules and regulations depending on what class you're doing.
Because I've seen some videos, for example, Tesla going against another.
Oh yeah, I mean sometimes they got some really weird like street car races out there where they don't have all the rules and regulations or safety, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, like, have you heard of the show Street Outlaws on the Discovery Channel?
Yes.
It's just like that.
Yeah.
Like that's just street stuff. Like my team's better than your team.
Yep, they say street and strip, which they're all doing drag racing.
Right.
Only
the
guys
on the strip.
This is on a strip. Yeah, this is on a professional level, and then the street stuff is like, hey guys, let's all get together and have some fun. I guess.
Yeah. And now they have a TV show on it.
Yeah.
Which has to be somewhat regulated since they're putting on
Yeah, I'm sure. Like behind the scenes, there's some guys that are like ambulances and everything, you know, where you can't see it. But
What would make a car like be faster than the other ones? What's the main aspects? The horsepower,
engine tuning. I know. I remember I was like,
we were talking before. He was like, dude, I don't know
ask me the technical.
Yeah.
These guys, they have like so many team members that specialize in certain parts of the car. Yeah.
Okay.
You have like you know how we have like a dash in our cars? They have this thing called a race pack system that collects all the information, like how quick did the tires spin, you know, what type of heat was hitting the engine in certain areas, and then what happens is all that information gets sent to they have like these really badass trailers, and they almost look like you ever see like stakeouts, like the cops are all hanging out and there's like these monitors and everything's going on. Same difference. You'll have like 3 crew chiefs hanging out, and you know, oh, they're about to run, and all the data is sent right to their trailer. And then that way, you know, when I was talking about tuning in between runs, well, that's what they do. They take that data and they're like, okay, well, now we need to tweak this, and this, so we can run differently on the next run.
Right.
Is accidents common in those things?
Man, they are very rare, but they do happen.
They're gonna happen.
Yeah. Sometimes you see like the cars will flip.
Yeah.
Because they're going so fast, a little wind gets under it.
Exactly. I went to a race, an NHRA race in St. Louis, and it was so bizarre. I was having a conversation with somebody, and you just hear the whole crowd like, you know, going crazy, and I'm like, what the hell? And I look over, and this car is like straight up and down airborne. Yeah, and the nose of it bent in half in air. I mean, it was bizarre. Yeah. And I've never seen it in person besides that one time.
They need to make that car slower.
Yeah, slow down a little bit.
Aerodynamics. So Josh,
weight on the front.
To get back to like more of your forte, what's something like when a client reaches out to you, you know, I'm sure you want to personalize and get what they're after. Yeah, right.
there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, what's kind of your format on?
Well, it really depends on what they're after. If it's a brand development, a logo, or something like that, I'll talk to them and feel them out. I love to build a relationship first. You know, when you get the personality of someone, you can almost like emulate that through their design, or you pick up on something they may. Let's say, I'm just gonna be random here. It might be a donut shop, you know, but they might be into something entirely different. Well, you can kind of give that voice of what they're into and kind of bring those aspects into this donut logo. You know, they're like, hey, this is my passion, but here's my business, whatever. You can bring both worlds together. And I also ask them I'm like, hey, what are your favorite logos? I kind of want to see the shapes they're after. What are your favorite colors? You know, in the drag racing world, it's black, red, gray, and white. So I try to, if I'm working in drag racing, I try to say, hey guys, let's get wild. Let's do some weird stuff. You know, I kind of want to step away and be a little more.
Well, you want to stand out, otherwise just we have really black hoodie or.
And then what we've noticed too, going to these events, all like the race trailers and tents, they all just kind of melt together. I mean, you really don't pop out unless you do have something like bright yellow and pink. Our whole entire branding is that, except, I mean, not what I'm wearing here, but yeah. But local businesses, I mean, man, I love working with local businesses and asking them the same questions and really giving them something unique.
So like take the one with you and LV in her little profile like that. So
right.
Was that kind of her idea? She already had that in mind?
Yeah, her and Justin, I also did the urban milling branding as well.
Love it.
And they will give me ideas like, hey, we really like this. We really like that was inspired by like the sugar skull, like the Mexican style sugar skull. And then she really wanted it like black and white. And I was like, how about you just send me a picture of you? And then so she did that, and then I illustrated like the sugar skull. I don't know what you want to call it. Those design elements all throughout her face.
No, I've worn that shirt even down in Florida, and people are like, "Man, that's a sick shirt."
Shut up.
I'm dead serious.
That's
I'm
so
dead
cool.
serious.
The green one?
The green one they love. I get compliments on the long sleeve green one all the time.
That's so cool.
But then there was one that you had did closer to Halloween or something.
That's what it was.
Right,
really
it's red and black, and yeah, but I'm dead serious. I've gotten compliments on it. People don't even know what La Quintanilla in Florida, you know. They're like, dude, that's a sick shirt.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Say that's
I
like
have
crazy.
that green one too. Yeah, she brought it to us when she came here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had LV and Justin on
Oh,
here.
man,
but
we gotta watch
separately,
that
but
one.
Justin talking about wood and
Nice.
and LV.
And Dusty too.
Oh, yeah.
Dusty Scott.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, he was pretty early on too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've got a good little list going.
That's awesome.
We have a lot of
The
fun
heavy
doing
hitters.
the heavy hitters, and we brought you in. So where do you see this going? Continue to grow? Do you think you're gonna like? Can you you see yourself getting outside of the racing industry? Like
Man, I hope to stick with it as long as I can. I know that these guys there's stuff I can't talk about.
Right.
But there are some massive things going on. And
Good.
I hope and would be grateful if I was also involved in those things. You know, you get to a certain level of success and then you would start hiring like a whole entire media group to handle all your graphic design. I sometimes am fearful of that because these guys just keep blowing up, but
well, they might have you lead the team.
I don't know.
You
I know. I hope.
You never know.
Yeah. I really love these guys though. They're great.
Yeah.
Is it only one team, or is there a group of different race teams that?
Well, so I work for Drag Illustrated.
Okay.
And there's like,
Which is what, a magazine?
it's a magazine. It
Like
covers
Sports
everything.
Illustrated, Drag Illustrated.
Nailed it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything drag racing and street racing as well.
Gotcha.
But on top of that, it's the total package though. They have the West Buck Show, which is the podcast. Then they have the magazine, which is both in print and digital. I think having a print magazine is really impressive nowadays. Where I kind of see print coming back in a weird way. Mm-hmm. Like I think COVID kind of wrecked everything where we weren't having events and people weren't really like, oh, I'm going to go to this event and collect a souvenir. Mm-hmm. You know, now it's like, hey, everything's sold out shows, you know, and now I think print is going to be relevant again.
Mm-hmm. Print will always be relevant because of that. If you go to an event, you need to hand something to those people that attend the event. You
Most
know?
definitely.
Flyers, direct mail, it still works.
Yes.
You know, billboards, visual stuff will always be out there. You
Most
know?
definitely.
Yeah, but of course, newspaper is different because people can get the news quick on the
Yes,
internet.
yeah.
You wake up in 5 minutes, you know what happened. You don't need to buy a newspaper. You know,
Right.
It's different. But every time you need to hand something, or you know, for branding purposes as well, the visual things will always be out there.
Yeah.
Marketing.
I still get a surprising amount of people that ask for business cards.
Yeah.
Same
Same
business
here.
cards is still
Always.
important.
Yeah. And you would think, well, just, you know, some people are like, well, just look me up on Facebook or like,
Yeah.
but no, they want the business card, you know?
Yeah.
I actually collect them.
Do
Like,
you?
yeah, if
Do
I
you
go
have
to-
the Rolodex?
Kind
sit there, you
of.
put
Yeah.
in-
Like, what do we need? No, it's I like them because every now and then, you know, you're like, oh, I thought of this thing. I know this guy who does this, or this is what his interest is, and maybe I want to call this guy or email and pick his brain about a new project or something. Mm-hmm. And that's the key, I think, is to constantly learn from other people who are doing, you know, the people you look up to. You should be asking them questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Learn
Not to
from-
be annoying, but you know.
Yeah. Well, you're only as strong
But
as
that's
the
the
people you
secret, yeah.
surround you know, yourself with. I mean, we as humans should always be networking, you know, no matter what. I mean, you don't, otherwise you're going to have to be average or good at a million things,
Yeah.
you know,
And
and if you can just know that, like, I can call this person or have this person in my team and be able to at least get pointed in the right direction. You know?
Nobody figures out things like by themselves. You
No
know?
way.
Everything since you were little, like how to walk, the language you speak, everything, people is helping you, people around
Most definitely.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, just learning a new language. You know, you may learn like the textbook version of that,
Yeah.
but then you actually talk to the people who live there, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh wait, you don't
Yeah.
even use that word.
They're like,
or
don't
you-
say that.
Yeah, don't say that. Yeah, yeah.
Say that ever again.
Everything we do and say and everything we like is a result of the people that we're around. And
100%.
yeah, asking questions to people that accomplish what you want to accomplish is the thing too.
That is it.
Yeah.
That is, you just nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, even as far back as grade school, you know, and everyone being like scared to ask a question, or you're sitting there, and at a young age, I realized like I can't be the only one in this room that doesn't know what she just said, you know.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are scared to ask a question.
Gotta play Mr. Cool, you know.
And I know there's at least three
dumb,
people.
you know?
Yeah. So at least 3-4 other people in the class are like, thank God for Lauren, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I never had a problem doing that, man. If you don't know, you know, you're not supposed to just know stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Did your parents tell you that to ask questions to teachers if you don't understand? Or my parents always told me to.
I'm sure they said it, you know. I just feel like I've always kind of been inquisitive anyways, you know. The only time I can never remember, like, in, like, my dad, especially, like, working on, you know, like, his semi or something, and he'd be like, hey, go get me a Phillips screwdriver. And I'm like, shit, is that the flat one or the one that looks like a you know, and then, like, so I'd bring them both.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I tricked you.
Whatever one he puts his eye on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only time I never really wanted to ask too many questions because like I felt like I would, you know,
should have known already.
Yeah,
Right
you
on.
know, so I would get reamed for not knowing. But other than that, I've never cared about talking out loud or asking questions or. You know.
You have to, and especially with, you know, working in sales. You got to do that. You got to ask so many questions.
Yeah.
'Cause if you don't ask enough questions, you're not going to be able to achieve your client's goals at all.
Yeah,
Right.
you won't know the
And then-
client needs.
You're
Yeah.
like, why didn't you ask me that? You know? It's like-
Right. Well, one thing, have you probably ran into it? I know you have as well, but sometimes clients will come in and they just say, okay, what do you got for me? And it's like, well, I don't know enough about you.
You gotta ask questions.
And so you can tell they've been in front of salespeople that are pushing product. Hey, I got this. It's $16.99. Like, no, I don't never want to be like that.
Yeah.
I need to learn more about your business before I can start. I'm supposed to just solve all your problems without, you know, getting a feel for what you're struggling with or what's your niche.
Exactly.
You know. So yeah, I mean, you got to ask these questions. Otherwise, you're just pushing a product and not and like hoping it helps.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
They always, well, it's funny you mentioned that because you were talking about, pushing a particular product. And I look at Canva that way. And there's a lot of people who are like, oh, you know, you're a graphic designer and we have Canva. Well, there's a lot of the same templates that they use, which I'm not bashing Canva. I actually, Drag Illustrated uses that quite a bit because
It's useful, yeah.
yeah, like, but you can customize it. You know, you can utilize, you know, the Adobe products, you know, and build something custom, and then you can use those custom elements in Canva, and it just makes it look more original. But you have a lot of people that are kind of using the same templates over and over again, and just like that, it's like, oh, hey, here's this, and it's the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Instead of, you know, getting the education from your client and be like, oh, how can we make this more you? You know, how can we really push your brand and make it your voice? You know, what message are you really trying to put out there? And you can't do that with the same template over and over again.
Yeah.
Do you do freelance work as well?
I do.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and you two can probably both discuss this, but not being very tech savvy myself, how much has this industry changed? You know, they talk about the technology and changing with AI. I mean,
and
it's
everything.
changing like daily and sometimes even by the hour.
Yeah.
What about on the computer?
Graphic design?
Yeah, like how about that?
Well, I think that AI is developing very fast. As of right now, AI cannot replace a skillful graphic designer, but I can't say how it's gonna be in 2 years, 3 years.
Exactly. And I'm not really that scared about it.
Yeah.
I will say I do use AI for Chat GPT.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing
Every marketer needs ChatGPT. Yeah.
I suck at reading. I suck at making a captivating sentence. So I might put the idea in there and I let the AI do the rest.
But it's a common knowledge that there's no human.
No one's the best at everything.
Yeah, and there's no human that will be able to design a better text than AI. AI is way smarter, and there's no way to achieve that.
We've had this talk, and I've had this talk with realtors too. I have my real estate license, and every time we get a new listing, they're like, "Come and check out this adorable 3-bedroom." And like we have to write that
You
out.
can call, you can detect if it's Chat GPT.
Oh my gosh, it kills me because, like, for example, I had to talk with one of my realtor friends, won't call him out, but like he had this home, and it was like a fixer-upper kind of, and literally the first sentence says, "Your dream home awaits," and it's like I called him. I'm like, "Dude, you tell me you didn't." He said, "Oh, I just do the Chat GPT," and I'm like, if this was my house, I would be calling you right now and be like, "Get that off of there, dude. This is no one's dream
Unlock
home."
the potential.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. But like, and so that'd be better. Like, but this said your dream home awaits as if it's done, and it's like so far off, and like. We've had some with a guest early on with our shows trying to figure out, like, hey, how do we write this little Josh Dixon description?
Yeah.
And, like, he would put one in Chat GP and send it to me. I go, dude, no way. It's way too fluffy.
Yeah.
If
notice that too.
if we had this, like, big write-up for you, you'd be like, Lauren, I am not that cool. Clean that up.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you, but come on. This is not.
It's really nerve-wracking when people write about you, too. Like, there's been times where I've done interviews before, and then they're like, "Oh, here's all his accomplishments," and then I'm like thinking to myself, "Man, it sounded really cool when people, read that stuff, but when I come here and talk about it, I'm just like, oh. do you remember that?" No. You just get so much information every single day. I have to write everything down. I have a Google Docs. I have a Google Docs backup of other notes. I don't know if you're one of those people that you're constantly writing stuff down. You have like a billion different notes, and
you guys are laughing.
My notes app is like that.
Yeah.
Bunch of random stuff.
I text myself.
Yes.
That's literally what I do.
Text yourself?
I literally get my phone out, put in my phone number, and send a text message to myself.
You must.
On all, I could scroll for years of stuff notes I've said, and something I've never even go back to. Recipes. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, text that to me. But yeah, I don't do the notes or any. I do
notes. Yeah, but yeah, ChatGPT, you can definitely tell if it's. But here's the thing about AI though. It's about learning how to prep the AI the best way possible. So you can tell them to write something for you, but then after that you can ask, like, make it more informal. Not yet. Make another version and make sure it's still informal. And then you see it getting more to the human side.
Sure.
Yeah. Or I'll like tweak it.
Yeah.
And then kind of make it more
and prepping, like, now you are a writer that likes drag racing, so you are the best copywriter in the United States that talks about drag racing. Now do a text about this and this and that. The more you prep, the more the AI will understand what you want to get,
Yeah, I've never even seen this or tried. I've never even done nothing, Chat GPT, anything.
Yeah.
I'm just over here checking my Hotmail,
Yeah. My MySpaces.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Man. No, but I mean, AI, I think, for instance, if there's like a football team or a baseball team, and they're like, hey, we need a baseball logo. I'm not going to go and illustrate a baseball or a football. Like, I've done it 1,000 times in my life. So it's like sometimes I'll go back to an old design, maybe from like 10 years ago, and I'll grab that and I'll, modernize it, bring it up to speed. But something with AI, it is viable, I think, when you're trying to streamline tons of designs, and you're like, hey, I just need the real simple stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I still haven't used it. I haven't dabbled with that at all. But I know people who have, and I could see.
So you're saying, like, use it to, like, get a foundation?
Just pieces.
Yeah. I
and
can respect that.
And it's for stuff like octagon shape. I just need an octagon shape.
Sure.
And I could draw it, but I just lost,
You don't need
2 minutes, and I could just grab it.
I remember when people said the internet, it was just gonna be something small. When we had dictionary, when we had the Barca, you know what I'm talking about, the encyclopedias. Remember? And people say, oh, this Google thing is nothing. And now it became, people, we talk about 10 billion searches a day. people learning on the platform.
Starts a lot of fights.
AI is the same thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, this is crazy." No, in 10 years you understand that if we don't have AI, you won't be able to do anything.
Right.
And I think the way AI is going to accelerate is something we can't even see right now.
Yeah.
You might have people that are like, "Hey, I want to start a company." Like I'm seeing stuff with like GoDaddy. Like I used to sell people on GoDaddy. Hey, I'll create a website for you. We'll use the web builder. I'll create some custom graphics to slap in there for you. And now it's like people can just go to the GoDaddy and be like, "Hey, donut shop." Bam! They have a logo. Color palette's already ready for them.
The thing that AI is not good, AI is generating full graphics for you, like the way you want, and generate videos. But as soon as it starts to do that, then it will become easier and faster. I'm not saying that it would be a good thing for the agency world, like marketing agencies, but it could help in some ways.
And the AI too, where you can like have somebody say anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With your
you can
voice.
say, "No, I saw the video. You definitely said that."
That's scary.
That is scary. Yeah.
Could you imagine like court cases?
Right.
And they're like, "I have a video of you saying that." Like,
Isn't that nuts?
just
though?
like-
But then what AI does is to create apps that detects that thing was made on AI.
Yeah.
The
Now you
AI
need
is made
AI to catch AI. This is crazy.
You said this word way too many times. She doesn't
Yeah,
normally say that
right.
word.
We
that
can
much.
make your voice talk in different languages. Exactly your tone of voice.
Well, so I've
Yes.
been doing, Duolingo, and I started doing this coffee table Spanish, where like I just listen.
Learning another language?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
I do. It's in the app. I'm driving around all day.
Might as well.
Yeah, so it's called Coffee Table, and then you can do Spanish or Portuguese, whatever language that you want.
I've heard of Babbel.
But
I
yeah,
haven't
that's
heard of-
another one. But now I'm getting, because I do that, like on Instagram, there's ads for AI. They say they'll teach you this foreign language in like 4 days or 6 days through AI, having real conversations with, I haven't tried it, but I'm like, well, dang, that sounds, because learning these things and what you call the mall, and like things like that, like it's all, it's cute and fine and stuff, but like to actually what we need in another language is the conversation piece, Otherwise, I feel like I'm picking up words about every 3-4 words I can pick up. I know what you're trying to say. I can get to the end game.
That's
But
awesome.
through this AI and being able to truly flow through a conversation, it makes me wonder if I should be trying that.
I think AI is gonna get to a point on this when it comes to languages. You'll get to a point that you won't need to learn the language because there'll be something
Just
that in
say
real
it.
time you'll be able to communicate with anybody.
They have it
That's
right
what I was
now.
thinking. Yeah, like you can.
You can literally
Translator
say,
is already like that. Yeah.
So
So
you can text. It'll change everything.
even if you want a video of you speaking another language, showing your face and your mouth, you can do that. Speaking Portuguese, for example.
See, I could make a profile pic and send to Brazil before we go, and women will think I'm fully Portuguese.
You can run some ads there.
So sexy. He knows how to
I get
manage.
there and I'm like, nothing. I got nothing.
Run some ads.
Lost my voice.
Fixed everything.
Oh man, dude, that's great.
Well, it's funny. Judy's Cafe.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll send me stuff in Chinese.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, translate. Easy.
Right.
That's okay.
Judy's
I
so
love-
legit, man.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You ever have one of those skillets?
I go
Come
there
on.
like
Good
2-3 days a week. You can ask Judy. I get the Quad City skillet or the Judy skillet. Usually
Judy's
the
skillet.
Judy's.
Judy's skill is good.
Yeah.
Full of protein.
Yeah. Chorizo, chicken, and steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And then
what I
that.
And
they
it
put,
weighs like 5 pounds.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. I eat
Double bag it.
religiously. I eat half and half the next day.
Yes.
For breakfast the next day. I could eat the whole thing.
I eat the whole thing.
But then you have to, you'll be in bed for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Coma
Nap,
for sure.
Yeah. Out.
So,
Yeah.
but what do you see in the future, man?
Man,
Yeah, obviously,
trying-
hopefully growing with this.
You know,
and-
it's funny. So, I would love to grow with this, but I actually want to degenerate in the future. I want to get a little tiny home next to some water and just live a very simple life and paint and play my ukulele.
Yeah, amen
That's-
to that. Man.
Just chill.
Yeah.
I'm so simple. Honestly, I don't like a lot of things.
Right.
I just like what do you need? The necessities. That's about it.
Well, one thing I've genuinely always digged about you, Josh, is like what I'd like to think I have some of it. maybe not as much flow as you, but like very positive.
What?
Always
Stop.
excited to be here.
Oh,
I'm
man.
serious, dude. Like
Yeah.
you are. Always
Thank you.
excited to be here.
Thank you.
And
It really warms my heart when people tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
And man, and I just wish that everybody could have that positive spin. There's
Same,
nothing.
man.
I think life is so awesome already. You know, no matter where you're at, just being able to walk to me is a blessing, and I'm grateful just to do that.
For real.
So.
And like, you know, it's so short on top of
Yeah.
it. You know, this could be your last moment, this could be your last day. And to be sitting there hung up and worried about some silliness,
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Well, you know how they always say, you know, successful people surround themselves with other successful, positive people, and that's what I found with this team and everybody that I work with is everybody's so cool and humble and kind, and man, it makes it that work ethic and drive. It builds in you even more.
Contagious.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
very contagious.
The energy thing.
Yeah, it is an energy thing.
Yeah.
You know, just imagine if you going home to some wife that treats you terribly every single day, or you have a
There's no way.
friendship that's not working out, or
Yeah.
you know, and it's like sometimes you just gotta learn to say no, or
You
make
do.
boundaries and cut it out.
Boundaries. That was the key for me.
Negative
I mean,
energy can
yeah.
bring you down quick.
Well, dude, and like people, you want to help. I think, but genuinely, you want to help your friends, you know.
Yes.
And like, but eventually, when you see they're not, the analogy I've always given, like, look, man, I'm down to help you. I'll get in your boat and help oar this, you know. But the minute I see you don't have an oar, like I'm the only one rowing your boat.
Yeah.
Like I'm
This
putting
got
my
really heavy back
I'm
here.
putting my oar down and I'm getting in a different boat. I'm all down to help somebody. But when they're not taking the initiative, they want you to solve the problem. They want a quick fix. A lot of people, the analogy, just plug in. They want to plug into you and use your energy, and then you wonder why you're feeling drained and
You gotta have
neglected.
that matched intensity.
Yeah. So boundaries are so important. It's not being selfish. It's not being rude. It's taking care of yourself and making sure you
Or
respect your.
What you got to value your time. You know, there's a lot of people that I've had to say no to here in the last year pretty much, and it's really because of what's going on with my career. And I just hope that people understand. It's like, hey, I would love to work with you, and I loved working with you, but it's like I just don't have a lot of time. I got to make these people happy.
Right.
So
Yeah, and protect yourself.
and protect. Yeah.
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 Well, thanks for not saying no to coming on the show
No,
with us.
no, man. I saw the shows that you guys were posting prior, and I was like, man, I so want to be on that show someday. So it's like
awesome.
really cool
That's
that you asked
awesome.
me
'cause
to
I did
come.
just reach out, man. I greatly appreciate you coming and kicking it with us for a little bit.
No, man, it was awesome.
Thank you very
Wish
much,
you the
man.
best of luck as you
Man.
continue to grow, man.
Man, I hope you guys crush it
Yeah.
and continue to
Nothing
grow.
but love.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
Most
appreciate
definitely.
it. We got Josh Dixon here, guys. It's a Talk About It podcast. I'm Lauren Fulmer.
I'm Victor Dantas.
And hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends to hit it too.
See you
We'll
next
see
week.
you. Thank you for watching this episode of the Talk About It podcast.
I'm Victor Dantas.
I'm Lauren Fulmer.
And we would encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell. It's going to be right below the video. So you
Hit
guys,
the bell.
so you know when the next episode is up. All
We
right?
appreciate all the support.
Thank you.